This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 13th day of April in the year 2018. Here's what we're tracking this evening. Finance Minister Winston today explained that the $18 million that the government received as a signing bonus from Exxon is still with the Bank of Guyana, which has invested the money in U.S. Treasury bills and Canadian bonds. The move was made by the Bank of Guyana so that interest could be earned. Already, it has earned over $35,000 in interest, according to documents provided to the media. The government last week announced that $15 million from the money will go towards the legal representation payments for the border court case. The remaining $3 million is to be used for capacity building. The finance minister said the signing bonus was never a secret, since it has always been in the Bank of Guyana account, and a number of senior finance and Bank of Guyana officials were aware of that. The government only confirmed receiving the signing bonus from Exxon a few months ago, following media reports after a document was leaked from the Finance Ministry about the Bank of Guyana account, which was being set up for the bonus. Still in the world of finance, Guyana's economic performance in 2017 was far from robust, with economic growth figures falling below revised growth rates identified by the Ministry of Finance. Finance Minister Winston told reporters today that Guyana recorded 2.1% economic growth in 2017. He explained that although there was positive growth, the growth rate turned out to be worse than predicted.
The economy did not perform as robust as we expected during last year, as we had identified, but even at the half year, we were predicting that the economy will not do well given what we knew about at least sugar. At the end of the day, it turned out to be even worse than we predicted. So even though there was positive growth for last year, the growth rate ended up being 2.1%.
Guyana's economy is now targeted to grow by 3.8% this year, exactly the same as the initially projected 3.8% in 2017, which was not achieved. Looking at the performance in the main drivers economically, Minister said rice did quite well, producing over 630,000 tons, while sugar and bauxite did not do as well. He said gold was a major disappointment, with just over 653,000 ounces being declared, while forestry did reasonably well, showing signs of recovery after a lapse over the last 2 years. The minister said in the fiscal area the country did exceptionally well, with revenues remaining buoyant. Less than a week after an application was filed in the High Court by lawyers of U.S. murder accused Troy Thomas seeking to block the magistrate's court from hearing the matter, the case has been called and a ruling could come as early as next month. The matter was called before Justice Joanne Barlow yesterday. In the presence of the attorney to Troy Thomas, Justin Barlow stated that the Attorney General's chambers will be expected to file a defense within 14 days. The defense attorneys will then be expected to submit their arguments. Once all of that is completed, the judge said she could have a ruling ready by the 25th of May. The move to the High Court came as the attorneys for the alleged fugitive contend that the magistrate's court does not have the right to proceed over the extradition proceeding. They argue that the extradition treaty between Guyana and the United States of America is not enforceable because it was never instituted into domestic laws. In addition to blocking the magistrate's court from presiding over the matter, the attorneys also want the court to rule that the amendment to the Fugitive Offenders Act, which purports to give a magistrate power to interpret the extradition treaty, is unconstitutional. The extradition matter in the magistrate's court has been put on hold since the move to the High Court. The Guyanese-American man is wanted in the U.S. for the gunning down of another man outside a New York nightclub back in 2011. And finally this evening, after carrying out tests on scores of staff members from the Guyana Gold Board for signs of mercury poisoning, Chairman of the board G.H.K. Lal said on Friday that the results are comforting, putting to rest fears that staffers had suffered from severe mercury poisoning and may be hospitalized to undergo treatment. Mr. Lal said the findings of tests have not created any cause for major concern.
The government, the minister, the general manager, the entire board takes very, very seriously the health concerns surrounding mercury. It is a priority and our actions have been geared towards addressing the situation, towards resolving the situation satisfactorily.
The tests were done by the Kaizen Environmental Services along with the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Gold Board intends to bring a firm out of South Africa to explore the possibility of setting up a gold refinery here. Mr. Lau said the government and board take seriously the health of concerns surrounding mercury, and the said Gold Board remains committed to openness on the issue. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Have a good weekend.